Houston moved up to 8. Philly stayed at 13. Washington fell to 31. And Jacksonville fell to 20. New England also fell to second in the power rankings. Oh, man, look at that. We're out of time. We don't have time for James to really jump down my throat on this one.
Absolutely not. Hold on. Pump the brakes. If I recall correctly, did 3 of our super fans still rank the Patriots number 1 in our power rankings?
They did, and those were not me. We had Ron, the Dolphins super fan, Green Bay Brian, and I don't know who the Gruden grinder is. It wouldn't be you, Monty, would it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so
James jumped down Monty's throat, not mine. He ranked him number 1.
Monty, did you not watch the game Sunday night? That wasn't an aberration. That was real because Jay will tell you, we've been mentioning this the last couple of weeks, a team with a solid running game that can play consistent defense will doom the Patriots. We mentioned this after the Browns game, even though Chubb fumbled twice. And we didn't see anybody coming up anytime soon until the Ravens, which has a strong running game and a solid defense.
Would you bet your paycheck that a team is going to beat Bill Belichick when his defense is playing this good? I wouldn't. I think all the other teams that you would put ahead of the Patriots have a wart or two or an injured quarterback or something going on. I mean, the Ravens have lost 2 games already. I mean, just because he lost 1 game, I don't think the Ravens are going to beat Bill Belichick twice.
No,
I don't know. I'm going to need to see more. I'm going to need to see more before I put one of those teams ahead of them. The Mahomes injury, who are your other contenders? Certainly not the Ravens. You're going Saints?
In my power rankings, I believe I have the Saints, the Niners, only because they're undefeated.
Baltimore and
who's
Seattle.
My third team? Baltimore and Seattle are the 4 teams I have ahead of the Patriots right now because they played better over the last couple of weeks.
Alvin Kamara's injured. I do think Russell Wilson's going to be your league MVP this year, but their defense has definitely got some hope. Yeah, he's 100%? I don't think so.
Probably not, but, I mean, they're playing the Falcons. You really don't need them to be 100%.
So it's good that they're rushing them back then.
All I'm saying is, the Patriots have warts, just like the other teams I've placed in front of them. I mean, no team is perfect. And Pod will attest, that defense might be a little soft up the middle in the run game.
No, I won't attest that. This is what.
Okay.
No. I broke down this game, and Don, I don't know if you will agree with my breakdown of this particular game. All the credit in the world to the Baltimore Ravens, because first of all, when a team does something that is working, they don't normally stick with it, and it's normally not the run. I was surprised that Baltimore ran the ball as much as they did and never went away from it because it was working. They didn't have to go away from it. No team usually does that. The other thing was, the Patriots were so concerned about Lamar Jackson, and Lamar ended up, I think, with only 31 yards in this game. Don, am I right?
Rushing.
It was like 60, I think.
Might have been 60, but still, he's been averaging over 100 or close to 100 yards per game. The Patriots were so concerned with Lamar Jackson, they bottled up the inside. As a matter of fact, the rushing yards that the Ravens were getting were to the outside because there was no one there. And the Patriots don't have, the linebackers are bigger, stronger guys that don't have the speed to cover the outside. So one block, which is what was usually happening, was taking out 2 guys, and Mark Ingram and Lamar Jackson and whomever else wanted to run the ball had no problem hitting the outside and a whole bunch of green. The Patriots went to Chargers.
All right. We already talked about that game enough. Let's just go with this. 2 things that I think we can all agree on. 1, the Patriots defense is not the issue. Their offensive line is probably the wart that you should be talking about. And 2, at 8-0 or whatever the hell their record was, Belichick can treat these games like a preseason game, throw out some weird formations out there to see how the other team's going to adjust to it and react to it so that he knows exactly what to do in the playoffs. Belichick isn't going to lose to the Baltimore Ravens twice, and if you try to do what the Ravens did to him, he's already got a plan. You guys are underestimating how good that guy is, and that defense is definitely not the problem.
Well, and that would be the other thing. There's no other team that can do what the Ravens do. The only other team I can see on the schedule that they have would be Kansas City. Mahomes is banged up, or maybe Dallas. But
so James,
really
the Ravens are going into Foxborough in the playoffs to play a game with the exact team. Everyone's healthy, nothing else going on. You're betting a paycheck that the Ravens come out victorious? Because I'm not.
Yeah,
It's happened before.
It's definitely happened before, but would you bet on it? Would you bet a paycheck on it? You would, all right.
Yeah, you can have game plans, but you can't factor in that speed. That's not something you can practice against. Yeah, I'd bet on them.
Patriots also cheat.
Wait,
You got to factor that in.
Wait, time out.
They don't bust out their cheats during the regular season. Come on, guys. You've seen this before.
Oh, God.
I'm rooting for the Ravens, believe me.
I will say this. If, and this is a big if because we don't know if it's going to happen or not, if the Ravens and the Patriots meet again in the playoffs, the Patriots will definitely have something schemed up. But I guarantee something's going to happen during that game where Lamar Jackson breaks them and the whole plan falls apart.
Definitely bet on Lamar Jackson over Tom Brady. That is definitely how you make money in this field. In the playoffs. Got it. All right. Look, I'm going to write this down. I'm going to pin it to the Slack channel.
You know what? Look, that game Sunday night, I was waiting for the Patriots offense to make some adjustment to put up more than 20 points on the board. And in the second half, they looked lethargic on offense. And, yeah, the offensive line didn't do a good job blocking for Tom Brady, but it didn't look like they could get anything going. The running game couldn't get established, even when they put a fullback in the backfield. Receivers couldn't get anywhere after catching the ball. I think this is the most challenging secondary that they've played because they actually challenged the wide receivers at the point of the catch.
Well, the other issue was that the Patriots can't throw the ball deep anymore. Their over the top guy is no longer on the team, whether it's Josh Gordon or Antonio Brown. So the Ravens were playing press coverage, playing all that underneath stuff. And while Edelman and Sanu were still able to get their yards, that was all short stuff that they were getting those catches on. Nothing was going.
Telling you guys, don't get distracted. This is just a preseason game. N'Keal Harry's coming back off the IR. He'll be able to run rinse sprints and stretch out the defense. Isn't your first round offensive lineman, what's his name, Wynn, coming back relatively soon?
I would not put anything on Isaiah Wynn. He was hurt
Games
all
in
his
October
first year
and November.
and now half
do
of
not
his
concern
second.
Bill Belichick. What you should be more concerned about is that atrocious mullet that Bill Belichick's kid has been rocking on the sidelines. Halloween is over.
Oh, gosh. Wow.
All right.
I've got nothing. I've got nothing else.
Should we do power rankings on mullets? I think maybe that's the key.
Well, I mean, Bosworth has to be number one, right?
Well, if we want to go with historic mullets, yeah, that would.
Yeah,
Todd Christensen. He had a permed mullet. That was strong.
Christensen had a permed mullet. I mean, that's
yeah, that's true.
That's solid.
With a stash. I mean, come on.
What have we devolved into?
I don't know, but you could join this devolution. That's not even a word. By emailing us nextfanup@gmail.com. Tweet us at NFU Podcast, Facebook.com/NFU Podcast. Listen, tell a friend about this show. I mean, there's no reason not to share the show with your buddies. There's nothing here that's going to give you a leg up on anybody else. I mean, maybe a little bit in the gambling department, but I mean, you don't gamble against your friends. You gamble against the bookie. So go ahead and share the show with everybody that's out there, because quite frankly, we could use a few more listeners. That would be what I would like for Christmas this year. Is a few more listeners. And by a few more, I mean like, a couple thousand more. That'd be fantastic. that'd be really.
I think we all would like that.
Speaking
really
of gambling, Todd, just to add a little extra to your viewing tonight, me and Kenneth, the NFU intern, have got a little side wager going on. If his Bolts win, I think I have to record myself singing the San Diego Superchargers song. And if the Raiders win, he gets to write a book report on Clint Eastwood's classic movie, The Unforgiven, and draw parallels between himself as the young kid, the Schofield kid, Old Man Neil as the curmudgeon-y William Money out of Missouri, and our smug friend Nick, the Chiefs fan, as Little Bill. So maybe a little something to cheer for tonight.
That's great.
Yeah. Both of these things have to go on the Facebook page.
And I will have the long-awaited Patrick Mahomes song ready for you before we face Kansas City in Week 14. That I can promise you. I just don't know when. I wanted a guitar. I wanted somebody who could play guitar to go along with it, but I don't have any friends that play guitar. That's the problem. All right. With that, I think it's time to let Andy Dalton do the one job that he still has. There you have it.
I never even heard his interview, so I don't know the context in which it was said. I don't know what he said before. I don't know what he said after. So I still haven't seen it. I'm not going to watch it. I don't care, But, I've got no ill will towards Jay. There's no feud between me and Jay. I think we lost the game. He said what he said, and, we're moving on. That's in the past now.